Love or hate the apostrophe, another Kingsman film is on the way.
What people think of you. Character is what you are.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Screen Lab, and today we'll be giving you 8 things you probably didn't know about the third entry of Matthew Vaughn's spy action franchise.
He's having a gala dinner next week. I'll get you an invitation.
Stay tuned to know which real-life villain will be making his mystifying debut in the film. So, get your suit and bowler hat ready. Don't forget the pistol, as here are the top 8 things you probably didn't know about the Kingsman. Number 8. An all-star cast. If you talk about movies having a top-heavy cast, then look no further than the first 2 Kingsman films. Taron Egerton, Colin Firth, Samuel Jackson, Mark Strong, and the list goes on. Even if none of these people are reprising their roles in the upcoming film, the new cast should fill in without any troubles and introduce fans to literally a whole new era of the Kingsman universe. Oscar nominees Ralph Fiennes and Djimon Hounsou headlined the movie's star-studded cast, having starred in highly successful blockbusters and award-winning classics over the past 3 decades, including Schindler's List, The Grand Budapest Hotel, James Bond, and Harry Potter. There's no question that these 2 can elevate any movie that they're in. For Hogwarts fans out there, you definitely know who Ralph Fiennes is.
Harry Potter is dead!
The Kingsman cast also includes names you're familiar with. Daniel Brühl from Captain America Civil War, Aaron Taylor Johnson from Avengers Age of Ultron, and Rhys Ifans from The Amazing Spider-Man. We're not done yet, as the film also includes newcomer Paris Dickinson, as well as Game of Thrones alum Charles Dance, and the multi-talented Golden Globe winner Stanley Tucci. There are a few more big names we didn't mention, but we'll get to them with a few. So, with basically an all-star cast and director Matthew Vaughn back with his hyperkinetic style, we're definitely in for a bloody good time.
Welcome, Englishman. Rasputin, your reputation precedes you.
Number 7. Family Ties. Aaron Taylor Johnson was one of the biggest casting news for the Kingsman. But with an already stacked cast, and Johnson joining the crew late in pre-production, fans were left wondering on what the character the British actor will be portraying.
What the fuck is going on?
That was until IMDb updated the cast listings for the movie, showing Taylor Johnson will be playing a character named Lee Unwin. If Unwin rings any bells, well, it's because Eggsy is an Unwin, and his dad, Lee Unwin. But with the Kingsman's early 20th century setting, it seems that Taylor Johnson's Lee Unwin will be Eggsy's granddad rather than his actual pops. Taylor Johnson and Matthew Vaughn reunite in this film after working together in the critically acclaimed 2010 superhero parody, Kick-Ass. Taylor Johnson then went on to star in Godzilla and Avengers Age of Ultron, while Vaughn was handed the directorial keys to X-Men First Class and eventually Kingsman, The Secret Service.
As none of us mutated to endure extreme G-force or being riddled by bullets, I suggest we suit up.
Although Taylor Johnson will be portraying a rather small role in this one, it's great to see him reunite with his kick-ass director. No pun intended.
You are completely crazy.
Number 6. Connections to Kingsman 3. Not to be confused with the Kingsman prequel, a third Kingsman film that follows the events of Kingsman, The Golden Circle is actually happening. Egerton and Firth are set to reprise their roles for the final time. With Channing Tatum's Agent Tequila, Halle Berry's Ginger Ale, and Jeff Bridges' Champ rumored to be back as well. Matthew Vaughn will also be returning, already giving fans a little taste for what's to come in the untitled third film, saying that the script is nearly done, and people will literally freak out when it finally hits theaters. But before we get too excited for Kingsman 3, you may be forgetting we still have another Kingsman film about to hit the big screen very soon. And it appears that the prequel won't only tie up nicely to the Secret Service, but for Kingsman 3 as well, particularly how Aaron Taylor Johnson's Lee Unwin will pave the way for Eggsy becoming a secret agent.
Manners maketh man.
Number 5. The Kingsman and Rasputin. The Kingsman takes place in the early 1900s and follows the establishment of the world's first independent intelligence agency.
We are the first independent intelligence agency.
We see our founding members, the Duke of Oxford, Scholle, and Polly, played by Fien, Honshu, and Arterton, having already set up the same two Kingsman headquarters as shown in the first two Kingsman films, the Mansion and the Tailor Shop. Much like the first film, we also see a senior agent recruiting new blood, with Fien taking Conrad, played by Dickinson, under his wing. But as you would expect from a spy movie, it's all fun and games until someone gets shot, and our protagonists are faced with an imminent danger that threatens not only the survival of Kingsman, but also the lives of millions of people. It seems that the Kingsmen have always dealt with criminal organizations hell-bent on taking over the world, and this film introduces the spy agency's very first set of enemies, Rasputin and his band of mischiefs. Seeing Grigory Rasputin, played by Ifans, and his fabled past will be one of the most interesting storylines in the upcoming film. If you follow a bit of history, then you know the monk who became one of Russia's most influential figures in the early 20th century was a larger-than-life personality, a man who supposedly possessed mystic powers and had the ability to rise from the dead. Whether the film tackles the myth of Rasputin is still to be confirmed. Seeing him getting into a sword duel with the Duke of Oxford is definitely something to look forward to. Now, if only we could get some rah-rah Rasputin, then this would be the perfect film. Manners maketh man. So if you want to know the tough guys our protagonist will be beating up in this film, keep on watching.
Manners maketh man.
Number 4. A film tied to history. Just like Samuel Jackson's plan to eradicate most of the world's population through mind-controlled SIM cards in the Secret Service, and Julianne Moore's similar plan but with the use of illegal drugs in the Golden Circle, The Kingsman again follows the similar story of a group of spies trying to prevent Armageddon. But if you've noticed from the trailers, this will be the first Kingsman movie that completely ties itself to real-life historical events. The movie is set in the backdrop of World War I and features Rasputin and Jewish psychic Erich Jan Hanussen, portrayed by Daniel Brühl, as the main villains. But it's not just the villains, as we'll also see German and Austro-Hungarian soldiers in gas masks, as well as Archduke Franz Ferdinand's assassination being depicted in the film. Also, with Rasputin around, expect Russia's last emperor, Nicholas II, portrayed by Pirates of the Caribbean star Tom Hollander, to also make an appearance. That's some great history right there, but remember, this is still a Kingsman film, and Rasputin jumping around with a sword while plotting world domination with Erich Jan Hanussen is something you should never argue with your history professor. Number 3. The Gadgets. Ever since the James Bond reboot in 2005, we haven't actually seen Daniel Craig's super spy use a lot of crazy gadgets. In fact, in 2012's Skyfall, Q mocks Bond that their Secret Service agency MI6 no longer makes exploding pens. Of course, this isn't a knock on the franchise that has taken a more realistic route since Casino Royale, with a grounded style actually resulting in nearly $3 billion in box office returns across 4 films, and Skyfall being considered as one of the best Bond films of all time. Matthew Vaughn had always reiterated that his Kingsman films are love letters to classic Bond films of the 60s and 70s. The absence of absurd spyware in Daniel Craig's Bond allowed Kingsman to fill the void, and 2015's The Secret Service pulled all the stops in giving us the crazy tech we've been missing.
That is sick.
The movie didn't really give us exploding pens, but it gave us something better. A bulletproof umbrella, as well as a bulletproof suit, a double-barrel pistol, shoes with a hidden blade, AR glasses, and a poison-activated pen. And in the Golden Circle, it just keeps getting better. A baseball bomb, a perfume bomb, a machine gun briefcase, a laser lasso, and probably the weirdest gadget that ever came out of Kingsman HQ, a latex tracking condom.
Good work, Eggsy. Tracker fully functional.
Despite the new Kingsman being set around 100 years before the Secret Service, we'll no doubt see some classic gadgets getting some unique and hilarious Kingsman treatment, like for example, the shotgun-infused fencing sword. Although there won't be as many gadgets this time around, obviously due to the very limited technology at the time, we're confident we'll still get some great surprises.
How mighty you are.
Number 2. The Heroes. No Eggsy, no Harry, no Merlin, no problem. A new set of protagonists will be taking over in The Kingsman, and it appears that they'll be as charming and cunning as their 21st century counterparts. The Duke of Oxford is set to be Kingsman's first ever boss, with Shola and Polly also appearing to be members of the first ever intelligence agency. We just love the way Fionn says it. Then you have Conrad, who is now confirmed to be the Duke's son, also joining the group. Essentially Kingsman's founding members, but whether we will see more secret agents crop up in the film remains to be seen. We'll also be seeing a real father and son tandem taking on the world's most dangerous criminals. As evident in the trailers, the two will be involved in a lot of action, but Matthew Vaughn already downplayed that the duo will be a direct copy of Harry and Eggsy. Vaughn mainly cited that a real father and son relationship will be explored in the film, whereas Conrad is more aggressive and reckless, while his father is more reactionary and diplomatic. Then you have Shola and Polly, with Shola acting as the Duke's right hand and muscle, while Polly is the group's gun-toting sweeper. And as Matthew Vaughn would describe her, Mary Poppins on steroids.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all!
And number 1. The Villains. No offense to the Duke, but the villain catalog in this film is phenomenal. Even though we see a lot of Rasputin in the trailers, he's not the only one who'll be wreaking havoc in the film. And it also appears he won't be the main villain after all. Watchmen baddie Matthew Good, who'll be playing a bald, mustached character named the Shepherd, is most likely the one pulling the strings. We even see him address his villain roundtable, conveniently called The Flock, with everyone looking dapper and sinister at the same time, including Rasputin, Hanusin, and Alexandra Maria Lara's unnamed character. If the rumors are true, she'll be playing the film's version of alleged German spy Mata Hari. That's certainly a lot of real-life villains for one movie, but who's complaining? Much like Rasputin, Hanusin was rumored to have a strong influence in the government, in this case, Adolf Hitler's Nazi Germany. Hanusin would only rise to power in World War II, so this film will likely explore his origin story, and possibly set him up as the big bad in future Kingsman prequels. And as for the possibility of one Mata Hari, here's a short history lesson for you. She was World War I's most famous figure, an exotic dancer who made a career of dating high-ranking French and German officials, and was executed in 1917 after being suspected to be a German spy. So there you have it. The Kingsman hits theaters this September 2020. Which were the things you didn't know about The Kingsman? Comment them below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and if you're feeling a bit dapper, click the share button to discuss the film with your family and friends. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Screen Lab.
A taste of your favorite.